right, guys, we are live at 5 here at Endeavor BS. The BS stands for Brewing and Spirits, and there is no other possible way to interpret those two letters together. Tonight we have the incredible Schill Brothers from Schill Brothers Outdoors. And go ahead, introduce yourselves. Say hi.
Hi. The title of our podcast is Backcountry BSing, and it means different than yours.
What does that stand for?
It stands for what you think it's. So, first off, we didn't get any podcast rules here. We've been on podcasts where they're like, you need to keep it PG-13. So, I don't know. Do we have rules?
I mean, no, there's, it's...
like, just you can give me a rating. Like, I can stick to PG-13.
We are at a brewery.
I'm assuming that. I definitely clicked that this is not child-friendly on our thing. So, be free to drop the occasional F-bomb if you want.
Oh, okay.
It's not that big of a deal, but we definitely got a few in last week.
We always have a rule where, like, we can do, like, 5 of them.
And then we get demonetized.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what happens? Okay, yeah. Well...
Like, how many fouls do I get,
Yeah, it's like 3 strikes, you're out kind of thing.
If you actually, like, read the demonetization policy, they're pretty, like, liberal.
Yeah, I would imagine. So.
Just get 5.
Just get 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Have like a counter up on the screen.
We should just have like we're going to call it a fuck stick. So that's 1.
We're 2 minutes in.
It's kind of the best use of that word because we can just have that, and when someone starts going over the limit, you just hit them with it.
Okay.
Right? Like, so I got a really cool game for Christmas this last year. It's called Poetry for Neanderthals. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Oh my God. So it comes with an inflatable club. Like, it looks like a wooden club. It's just an inflatable kind of toy. And you're given a card, kind of like a Pictionary kind of game would be. It's like a single word or a small phrase. And you have to describe this to the people on your team using only 1-syllable words.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, and if you use a double-syllable word, they beat you with the club.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. And then you lose points and all that. So it's pretty fun. Kind of similar. Maybe we'll just bring that in.
So you can play that on our podcast. You're also you're gonna. So first off, we just skipped past the intro.
Yeah.
This is how
it's been
we
a long
day already. So I'm Kevin.
I'm Andy.
We have a YouTube channel called Schill Brothers Outdoors, and we have a podcast arm of that. Scott's been on it many times. This is a sweet studio. First.
Yeah. I love this table.
I do have to say though,
how does one get one of these tables?
Scott, we have destroyed a roadcaster by having it on the table with us.
On the table.
Yeah, and I love how it slants down right into the roadcaster.
There's a bit of a curve with a natural table here.
It's gonna funnel all the spilled liquids right into it.
We're gonna keep that off camera. I might have to build a little stand actually, or a protective covering, if you will.
We had to move ours. We had to move ours off the table because we had incidents with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I could just move it right to
cart.
that cart there too. So
yeah, you
don't
don't make my mistake. I spilled water on it in that $600 mistake.
It's gone. It happened live though, so it's kind of entertaining and funny.
Did just your audio cut out then?
No, it happened. We're like, these things are like built to last. It's great. And then over the course of the next 20 minutes, the audio levels like on some of the mics just started going down.
So you didn't like stick it in a 50-pound bag of rice or anything like that?
No, we just kept going. And then we kind of limped through a few more podcasts with it, and then we're like, we need to swap it out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is really sweet.
Yeah, thanks, man. We thanks a lot to you guys. You sort of helped us get stuff set up, picking your brains and checking out what you do in your home studio and being on your show a few times. It was a big inspiration for Endeavor BS. So,
yeah. What do you think of? And I always do this on people's podcasts. I don't mean to derail the conversation, but like, what do you think? What do you guys think of podcasting?
This is my 3rd time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
It's fun, right?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's at first I was like, no.
How did he loop you? How did he loop you into this?
And then I'm like, it actually is pretty fun. So it's nice meeting people and just BSing.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah, it's nothing too structured, nothing too programmed.
Do you guys prep? Do you prep for it?
Only for like 2 or 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
We have a rehearsal. We actually there's a teleprompter.
There's drawings. And like, it's kind of
storyboards. Okay.
We're texting each other as I'm on my way. What are you wearing? So
Pretty
just
much
a
as
little
much
bit of
prep as
prep.
you guys do, I think.
Which is zero. When we have people on that are like we've not met before and like they're experts in a certain field, we do expend like some amount of effort.
I read a book once.
Andy actually read an entire book for someone's podcast that we had on our podcast.
Yeah, Andy's talked about several books on podcasts. I think.
Yeah, I've read 2 books now
There you
related to podcasts.
What was the second one?
Sapiens.
Oh, right.
Was that in
right.
response to Dr. Jeff Meldrum?
No, he read
Yeah.
Meldrum's book though.
Oh.
I read
okay.
Meldrum's
Yeah.
book, and it was.
Andy had some questions.
I had some questions.
So, Carrie, if you're wondering why we've become friends, this is a big part of it. And if you guys explain who this doctor is, that will probably make a spark
all
go
right.
off.
So-
you could
okay.
probably say it.
So
I'll laugh if I speak about it.
So we have this podcast and we like having like outdoorsy people on, like, you know, it's just like fun to talk to people. And I was like, I want a Bigfoot guy on, like,
a real Bigfoot
and
guy.
I found,
Aren't they all real?
so, but I found like literally the one and only tenured professor that like studies this at like an academic level. I know, right? Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you've ever seen any documentary,
He's in
He's
all.
always in 'em.
He's in them all.
he's in it. He's that guy.
So I actually can't even believe I emailed him and I was like, hey, you want to come on? And he was like, absolutely. And I was like, all right. I was not expecting that. So we ask a lot of people to come on and they don't always come
Throw
on.
out my backup.
He
questions,
was
you know?
really,
It was
yeah, I
really
know,
good.
right?
all my bribery. Okay.
He was actually really good though. And he was, it was like, you know, it's still like Bigfoot and stuff. So it's like, you know, take some of it with a grain of salt, but you know, he approached it in a very academic,
In scientific way.
and we talked about it.
That was good.
And it was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use one of our words. Bigfoot's dick got brought up
Right away.
2 minutes into the podcast.
By him.
Legitimately.
Was that
legitimately.
Sex
Oh.
Panther?
No, he was discussing like
An accountant.
some of the Bigfoot
She meant
footage.
that 60% of the time it works every time.
No, he was like, and this just came out of nowhere. He was talking about this footage.
Can they hear this in there? Is that in there?
No.
Okay.
They should put this up on the show.
I was actually thinking about getting some monitor speakers and just like putting them in the atrium right here.
Well, they can pull up YouTube.
Pull up the
Your
YouTube
whole
and-
brewery's just getting a conversation about
So-
Bigfoot's dick
No.
right now.
So he was like, I was like, what is the most compelling piece of Bigfoot evidence? And there's this like famous video clip that you are aware of.
Yeah.
And in the video clip, Bigfoot has a raging erection, which I haven't seen this video clip.
and it's in like an RV campground.
And he started going to like the mating behaviors of like primates and like how it related to this. It was a very scientific discussion. But I was like, whoa, Jeff. Whoa, Dr. Meldrum. I did not think this was going to go straight there after 2 minutes. It was interesting.
That escalated quickly.
I think that's what I said. I was like, wow.
It's actually still on your Backcountry BSing
It is.
YouTube, so go on there and watch it. It's actually really fun. I watched it with my kids, and I mean, yeah, it was really fun. I'm a big Bigfoot nerd, obviously. So here you see the Endeavor National Forest with Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's really cool.
how do we
Isn't
get
that
one of
cool? I
those?
know.
Yeah,
I saw that. I was like,
my-
we need to get one of those for
I
our
will.
studio.
I will. My wife found a guy on, I think, Etsy or wherever, and he can make those. So I will put the link to that in the thing.
That's
and
pretty cool.
We might be doing an order, getting a few. So I'll let you guys know
It's very
details
cool.
on that. Yeah, he did an awesome job, and pretty cool. But we had, all of our glasses, every single can of beer we make, we had a Sasquatch or a Sasquanoidal species. There are multiple species of Sasquatch.
We discussed that with him.
Yes.
About this, yeah. Yetis, grassmen, skunk apes, all of that.
It's true. She's laughing. It's true. It's true. This is published scientific
I needed more
literature.
prep.
It's science.
You did not prep for this episode correctly.
Scott's like, Carrie, we have 6 minutes. I'm like making sangria.
But I don't think I don't think that there's still an argument to be made that there are actual multiple species or just different terminology.
So what did he sway towards?
Terminology
Yeah.
based on region.
Okay.
Okay. So was he under the opinion that they were all the same hominid species?
Yeah.
But just,
Then he was like, then Andy started pressing him a little bit on like, where are they? And
Got
he's
to the
like,
tough
yeah, well, Andy,
questioning.
well, before the podcast, Andy's like, I got some questions for this guy. I was like, all right.
Well, there were some gaps in the book.
You wanted to explain.
mind the gap.
No, but he was like, they're found everywhere where there's black bears. And I was like, wait a minute. There are black bears in Pennsylvania and there are black bears in like
New Jersey,
California.
Florida.
Like, so you're saying they're all the same species, but he stuck to that.
And does Okay, so is the black bear necessary for Sasquatch?
No,
Because,
I think it's just
no,
salt.
I think it's just
habitat.
Ohio.
I think it's just the right. We got some black bear here.
Well,
maybe.
we have Bigfoot at Salt Fork. I mean, it's famous. There was that famous YouTube video.
Wait,
the
really?
Lockdown in Salt. Oh yeah, it was crazy. We've got Bigfoot in Ohio. Big feet.
Really?
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
Clearly.
have you ever like people go out and hunt them as a hobby? Not hunt them.
Squatch
That's
them.
that's the incorrect term.
Look for them.
Visually hunt them. Yeah. Squatching. Gone squatching.
Yeah, squatch it.
I've never actually been squatching. I think we should probably organize a field trip sometime though.
I mean, I hear some.
We'll bring a ton of beer.
We hear some
Oh, yeah,
weird shit
Warren
out there.
County, Ohio.
Oh, you
Oh,
got it?
this is real.
This investigator has proof.
What's the... Okay, hold on. Before
Wait,
you
it
tell...
was Spectrum News.
Okay, before you say what the proof is, let me tell you what they're going to say.
Okay.
I was like, Scott's reaching for the soundboard.
Okay. It's... Their physical evidence is either they heard a noise or potentially some type of print.
Footprints seem to be the
Yeah.
real thing.
A visual
Crap.
sighting that, of course, the camera wasn't out just.
What
in
did they
time,
say?
you know.
Rare Bigfoot audio recordings.
Yeah.
Rare.
Noise, yeah.
I've always kind of had a mental image of the guy. You know how like they hit the trees and then Bigfoot responds?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen this in the videos, and I just imagine two guys on opposite sides of the forest hitting trees and thinking the other one is Bigfoot.
That probably
That's
accounts
like
for some of them.
75% of the noise
Noise, yeah.
sightings. Yeah. It's just like a bunch of different Bigfoot groups out at the same time.
And meanwhile, I feel really bad for the Sasquatch who's just in his nest,
Yeah,
like trying to
it's-
hide from this elaborate sound by all these people gone squatching. You know?
Let me tell you one of my criticisms of Meldrum's stories, and then I'll derail. Then we can go back.
We can
to
get back to not talking
to-
about Bigfoot. We went there.
So
Super fast.
Dr. Meldrum said that one of the most compelling firsthand accounts was a lady who was hiking the CDT, and she had a couple goats with her. And in the Colorado portion of the CDT, she saw on the map some really pretty lakes off the trail.
So was she,
She was
through
just
hiking the
hunting
CDT
or
with
hiking with goats.
yeah,
This is a great. I mean, I stopped at that as well.
it's a thing, I guess.
I was like, wait, there's just a woman out there by herself on the CDT with goats, and he was like, yeah, and we just went past. We didn't spend enough time on that part of the story because
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. It's a little
Yeah.
weird.
So anyways, so he's like, yeah, she, something lake, couple miles off the trail on the map, and went there, and then that's where she had a sighting of two Sasquatch.
I thought it was at her camp.
Well, she set up camp at the lake.
Okay.
So then I
Saw two of 'em.
Yeah. So he explained he's talked with her multiple times. They've sat around a campfire. She's told very compelling stories. So I said, well, "Where's this lake at?" And his response was, "Well, it's pretty far off the trail." I was like, wait, like you've got this compelling story, and like nobody thought to ask like where's the location, and like if she walked with like a couple goats a few miles off,
No, it's still going. Oh,
it's going slow.
it was going good there. This is the great thing. Oh, there, it's back. Just kind of, you see how we're moving?
Yeah, but it's see this error. It says your YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth stream.
It's your upload.
It looks good though.
Yeah, it does look
Looks
good.
good.
Now.
Should go away.
Here, I'll check.
There we go. He'll pull it up. This is the fun thing about doing this live. When you produce it yourself, you get to deal with fun.
You're good.
We've just had our cameras shut off randomly midstream.
You're like, we're doing awesome.
Now this
We're
is
gonna have
self-produced.
so many viewers.
This is self-produced, people. Like, come on. It looks. Did you check it?
Yeah.
Streaming.
Yeah, it's working. The video looks good.
We'll see. We'll see. So if we cut out a little bit.
It's a learn. I was telling her we've had our camera literally shut off for like minutes at a time.
Just
and
didn't even notice.
And Andy keeps talking, and I get up and like have to pull plugs. That like I literally have to like turn stuff off and on, and it's an experience.
I love how you have one comment right now, and it's from our mom.
There you go.
And what did she say?
She said, "Watching from the parking lot of Rayleigh's."
Oh, nice.
She's
Yeah,
in Nevada.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
You're
Very
good.
cool.
It's gone.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we're back up and smooth jazz.
So they don't know the name of the lake.
Right.
No.
Nobody thought to ask that.
No.
And then
I even was like, what is this woman's name? And he's like, well, just Google Colorado Bigfoot thing. And I was like, wouldn't you know her name? Because this spurned from, I straight up asked him, I'm like, can you please give us your most compelling eyewitness Bigfoot story? Like, I want to hear it. Because he must hear tons of them. And it was this story about this woman.
But he's like,
I saw 2 of them.
He's like, you couldn't get to that lake.
I was like, really? It's off the CDT?
Yeah.
But one lady with a couple goats
right.
can get to
Yep.
it, no problem?
Yeah.
Was this a goat lady?
I was like, and also like he does like month-long expeditions every summer as part of his research. I was like, you didn't think to go there?
That's a great point I didn't think of until now.
So many holes in that story.
but true story. If you Google,
Reporting is so hard.
if you Google like Colorado woman Bigfoot CDT, there are stories of this person. Okay. So it's not like, I mean,
we should try to track this person down and get a location.
And get him on the podcast.
We're gonna be out there. We'll get her on the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll get a goat also on the podcast. Nice. But when we're out in Colorado, potentially go scout out this lake.
Well, and I was
watching.
Well, no, Scott, you can't get to the lake. It's off the trail.
Maybe you need some goats.
If anyone can get there, I think it's us.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't he say too, like, they like peered at her from
Well,
behind
no,
a tree?
one was she was
two.
she was in according to him, she was in her tent and she heard the goats made a bunch of commotion. She peeked her head out of the tent and there was just a Bigfoot just like staring at the goats, like all confused. And so then she looks out into the woods.
Things you can drop the bottom. Yeah, I go to it on the bottom right, but that's the same settings. Go there, and we can turn it down. Just go to stream on the left, or output. Sorry, output. Yep, and you can change that. You can change it to like change it to like 2 or 3,000. Hit OK. There you go. See if that does.
It's going.
And we're back.
So it's going now?
It was. No, there we go.
There we go. All right. Okay. I might have screwed you with. I might have overshot your internet upload there, Scott.
I'm gonna blame you squarely. So
I thought the internet upload speed might have been better than it potentially is.
That's all right.
But still looks good. Yeah.
yeah.
Is this your first technical issue?
This
No, the very first.
the very first
The very
one.
first one. I think we were like 7
That's when I
minutes
called
late.
you. You were out.
Oh,
Tahoe,
yeah.
and
I was driving through Denver, and I was like, Scott's calling me. I bet he wants to talk about the Colorado Trail. And then you were like, no. I was like, oh, it's 5 there. You're streaming. And I remember, like, you're calling me. I was like, oh, this is live, isn't it? Yeah. What was the issue?
It was the sort of thing where I had Tyler, who's really tech savvy as well, one of our co-founders, look at it, and he couldn't figure it out. When you go to the YouTube webcam, and you do the preview shot, for whatever reason, it's going through my HDMI to USB capture card, right? And then you have to toggle it off and then toggle it back on.
Okay.
And if you don't do that before you start going live, we can't find a way inside the software once it's going. So we had to stop it and just start a new stream.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which was just like, I don't know. So again,
Yeah.
if anyone out there has a solution to that, please send me a message.
Hey, at least we didn't have to stop this one and restart it.
True.
It's a learning experience. You see, it's a lot more like in depth than you think it is. I mean, this is a very technical setup.
Yeah. There's a lot of little things to it. You
Yeah.
know, and it's not super
It's all
straightforward.
right.
But
You learn. At least we're in a bar.
yeah, we've been trying something new every time, and at least there's booze. So
Are you doing these? Are you guys doing these every Friday?
Pretty much every Friday. Yeah,
Nice.
we're making that happen, and it's gonna be a good year.
The happy
Yep.
hour BSing.
That's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
5 at 5 happy hour.
Ah,
So I even mentioned that you guys should do some marathons from time to time and just like stay here, come in, be our guest, and then I know you'll often go live at like 7.
Oh, go right after. I thought about that.
And then just like
Get wasted
walk
here.
I
and then
literally
go do
just log in.
Literally, all I have to do is change the key on that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was telling him, I was like, Scott, if we do back to back, I'm gonna be blacked out by the end of our podcast.
It's about pacing
We've
yourself,
done
you know?
so true story. We've done a 5-hour podcast.
What?
So we did a.
What was that one on?
So this is what we did.
Okay.
And this is something you guys should do. You have to have somebody here helping you.
Okay. Yeah, you got to have somebody like manning.
We did
systems.
and we announced it. We did a call-in show. So we had a number, like a phone number, attached to the stream, and it was a zoo. We had like 300 or 400 missed calls. I mean, people were just going, and we had people trolling us live, and the whole thing was live. And we started at like 7 until like midnight.
Way past midnight.
We're doing another one. We're doing another one in a few weeks, I think. It was ridiculous.
So you're saying I should call in?
It's fun.
What
though.
were people calling in about?
Well, so
like,
was
there
like
a subject, or
yeah.
was it
So
just
it was radio show
call in
style.
and troll us?
No,
I mean,
it was
lot.
like tell us like, okay, for the next hour, call in, tell us your weirdest camping story. And we had dudes trolling us with like home improvement references, like Tim Allen and stuff. It was so funny. And then we had people like straight up trolling that we had to like cut off instantly because like
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, like
stuff
people
like
would like do that.
That's
I don't know why I'm laughing about that. Nobody said that. Yeah. Nobody called in and was like, "I'm going to kill you guys."
Yeah, they did.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, remember, and every time somebody called in, we'd have the hand.
We had our hand on the mute button, and like we would mute them super fast.
because there's a bit of a delay. So
There is a 30-second delay, correct?
yeah.
But it was honestly, other than the like 10 people that trolled us, like the 30 people we talked to, it was really fun.
So
Yeah.
it was the best story that you remember.
The
After 5 hours.
the dude doing acid in California that saw like beings while he was camping.
He still reaches out to us, actually. This dude out in California called in. He was camping out in the Lake Tahoe region, and he was out with his buddy. They were just like high on drugs.
Oh, this was like they were actually there.
No. That would be epic. Like, hey, if you're high on drugs, call in. And he was talking about how like he was in some like ancient Indian site
Like,
up in the mountains of
yeah,
California,
yeah.
and he like hallucinated a bunch of frogs or something. I don't know. It was a very entertaining story at the time. But we went for 5 or 6 hours, and we would open the lines up. I mean, we had a person though, like dedicated, like sifting through the phone calls and like verifying. Once we got trolled,
It was
the first
Alex.
2
It was
hours.
Alex.
Yeah, it was Alex. Once we got trolled a few times, we're like, okay, you need to reach out and verify that it's you before you call in. So like he was doing that. Oh God.
Yep.
moving the soundboard.
It was really fun though. We're gonna do it again. I think in a few weeks.
Nice.
So it's just like logistically, it's difficult because you got a phone line.
I bet, yeah.
You got people, and then like it went 5 hours. So we were having like food brought in for us, and like everyone was way too drunk by the end of it.
Of course, the obvious takeaway is to use your personal cell phone at that point, so that everyone then has your number.
It was actually really easy to get a fake number, a Google
Okay.
Voice number.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then you just link it to your phone for like an hour or two, and then you
Or
can
5.
Yeah, and then you can link it to that thing.
Yeah.
Because like I've thought about like we can like order pizza on stream and like have the pizza guy on. Then I was like, I'm gonna have to read my credit card number over the phone. Everyone's gonna
Well, you just
hear
pay
it.
cash on
And I'm like, I guess you're right. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Cash.
Yeah, I know. Who does that anymore?
Not in COVID.
We when we got all this stuff set up and we're just kind of messing around with it, we called Carrie in her car when she was driving down here. We're just like talking to her on our speakerphone, like through. In our
It
heads.
sounds good,
Yeah.
right?
It sounds good. Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
really good.
Really
Yeah.
good.
It's cool. It's a cool
I
feature.
said it almost sounded too good though, you know, like compared to
Like
the
you
cell
wouldn't
phone.
know.
Oh, yeah.
that You're getting a call from
I'm
a
like,
podcast.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
It seems suspicious. It's too clear.
I know.
Almost too quiet.
Yeah.
We're just a couple minutes
hey,
away.
Andy
We're
doesn't know
actually
this. Andy,
we have a special
He won't tell me who it is.
guest that's going to be Zoom calling in.
What?
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Special guest.
Just a few minutes.
I know. And he won't tell me who it is. He's like he's building it up.
It's a surprise for you. So.
It's pretty cool.
Is it Meldrum?
Here's all the shit you've been talking about for the last 30 minutes.
Actually, that would have been. I was like, next time.
No, I want to clarify.
You took the bait.
Yeah, I
awesome guy.
I like him, and I think the way he approaches is great. But I still have questions.
I respect the fact that he is legitimately trying to make it a legit pursuit, and like
10 years.
Yeah, and he is like he got tenure, and like he really hates the whole like Bigfoot craziness of like all the people going squatch. Like he hates all that because as I told him, I was like, if you just told me if like next month a news article came out and you found some old hominid-like species buried out in the mountains, like I'd believe it. It's believable. But now with all the Bigfoot like craze, it's a little,
it makes it the boogeyman of sorts, and it supernaturalifies it versus like. If you say, hey, is there possible that there's a species that has been living in very small numbers that has survived evolution, or off diversion evolution, whatever
sense.
it is? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. We can discover new things out there. But 99% of the people coming forward are
they're not doing that, right. So I felt for him there, and then he talked a little bit about like the backlash he's faced from the academic community. And like his grad students get like threats.
It doesn't help that his next expedition is going to be looking for a Nessie.
Loch Ness monster.
Who is on all of our spirits, by the way.
No, they found the DNA.
Yeah, they found it.
Yeah. Doing the DNA study. I saw that. Yeah. I saw that documentary.
Iowa State. Idaho State.
Hilariously, you remember? So we had a couple here that were regulars, and they were just moved. They moved to Southern California, Ellie, and they did their wedding. They did their engagement photos here in the tap room.
Yeah.
And I just met them. It was like on a Sunday morning, and I met them here to Unlock because they just wanted a couple photos for their wedding engagement pictures because this is where they met and where they hung out a lot. They're getting married, and they were leaving forever, And we were talking a little bit, and she used to work with like wolf tracking, a rescue group, and she was out in Idaho.
Oh, you've told me about this person.
And she was like, and this was literally the week after, or the day, 2 days after. This was on the Sunday after you guys interviewed him.
Yeah.
And she started telling me this story. And, we mentioned, there's Bigfoot and everything. And she started telling me the story of, we were out tracking wolves and we came across this guy by himself out there and just started talking about Bigfoot as primate. He was like some professor guy and all this stuff. And I searched him and I just brought up the picture. That's right. It's like, was this him? He's like, yes, that was him. Like, well, my two friends just interviewed him.
He was by himself?
He was by himself out there and ran into him. I
remember you told me that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was by himself. That's weird.
That's awesip.
Pretty great. Okay, I think we're ready for a call. I'm
This is going to be
this happen.
This is going to be epic, Scott. If you can get this to work,
if I can get this,
I think it will. We tested it before, and
okay. Here we go. Let's try this, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. I think I've got to bring up the.
Who could it be?
Yeah.
There we go. Admit.
I got this. Yes, you have to be admitted to Scott's Zoom room.
Clearly,
you can't just join.
Oh!
Well, he's got it.
Flip the camera. Flip the camera.
Are you? Yeah. Can you flip the camera there?
Yeti.
All right, we're getting to the bottom of this. Give me a beer.
You get like a split second.
That would happen. He's just
it's not
teasing
even long
you.
enough to get a photo, any evidence.
Oh man. Okay. Well, we're gonna see if he gets that video going again.
That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, Scott.
Yeah.
Little gotcha on the podcast.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I wasn't aware that Yetis wore sunglasses, Scott.
Yeah.
Well,
and they have smartphones.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
All right. Cool. So hey, we already know that your name is Jordan. Just wanted to introduce you to my good friends right here. How's it going? Do you have audio coming through?
Did they speak English?
Oh, I think you're muted there.
No, he's saying. Oh, Where do you get the sunglasses?
Can you, I think, unmute on your Zoom call? Can you hear?
He's got to take off the glove.
This is every corporate Zoom call ever right now. I think you're on mute.
You're on mute.
I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I think you're on mute.
That your video's breaking up.
You forgot your pants.
This is my daily life.
This is literally every Zoom call. You're on mute.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
This is awesome. So we're gonna see if we can get some audio and video going here.
Yeah.
We'll leave that.
I should have known when you said it's a special guest. I should have.
And I like how we were just naturally talking about
Yeah.
Yetis
Yeah.
already.
And yeah, I mean,
We have nothing else to talk about.
No, there's like a lot of things. There's like when I was thinking about stuff we talk about. There's like a lot of things we could talk about. Like we haven't talked about brewing beer. We haven't
Yeah.
talked.
Hey,
about
how about that
small
sod
business?
being laid in the Crew Stadium today?
Oh man, yeah. Did you guys see that?
And how about they explained like the LED lights underneath it, like crazy science like
Wait,
that?
what?
Yeah.
I didn't see the LED lights under it.
Yeah,
What?
apparently there's lights underneath the sod.
that
and that's
come
it.
up through
Yeah,
the field.
It's like it's
Dude, I'm telling you, I know. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
get like a
Yeah.
just towel wall here, like just put like.
I think he's gone. We can end this. Well, maybe he'll join back up here. We'll see.
Okay.
That
He's very
happens.
fairly tech savvy.
but you know that's
Yeah.
that's
For,
that's a sighting. That's a Bigfoot sighting.
that counts.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Okay.
See him for a little bit and then gone.
Yeah. That's
No
that's
audio,
pretty
no
much-
footprints.
Didn't really hear much that
evidence.
time.
Sounds just like a real Bigfoot encounter.
Very much. Very
no,
much like
no
a robot.
actual evidence.
Suspicious at best.
The
Find it on YouTube.
are a lot of your podcast guests crew and soccer centric?
Yeah, we get a lot of soccer fans. So this room that you're sitting in right now is actually where the crew was saved.
I
So
remember-
Save
yeah.
the Crew happened right here. They had more than a year every single Monday.
That's
for-
awesome.
It's very cool. It
Yeah.
worked.
Basically saved the crew.
Saved them.
It
You got
did,
them a
yeah.
sweet new stadium.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
going to be amazing.
Very excited for that stadium.
Yeah, we've got season tickets here at the brewery, so you guys should be our guests sometime.
I was
Come
actually,
down. Yeah.
I was, how much? I was like, wonder if I should get season ticket. It's so close.
I know. It's walking distance from you.
It's a mile and a half from my house. It's like, it's a scooter.
Yeah, from right here, it's about a mile and a half too.
It's a quick
You know,
scooter.
It's a half-hour walk, and they're
Yeah.
building the new bridge over the bike path.
I was gonna ask you if that was happening because I don't want to swim across the old Tangy to get there.
Yes, so that is what those pylons are going in. They're building
Okay.
a bridge. I don't know if that's going to be open by 3rd of July or not, but
Is that when they're supposed to? Is that when they're kicking off in there?
July 3.
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
Hey, what do you know? I'm gonna try to get our friend back on here.
Earrings too.
Earrings. This is the most fashionista one I've ever seen.
This is a mountain Yeti.
This is a Yeti, and I feel like it's a little warm here for this. You gotta be dying.
Oh, and hold on, we've got.
There's two.
Here, hold on. There we
Did
go.
you know about this?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Oh yes.
All right. Yes, and this is Sasquina the Yeti.
Is this a mating? Is this a mating pair?
Yeah, I believe so.
Why
Are you guys a mating pair? Is that correct? kind of like friends.
He doesn't want to commit.
Non-committal
He doesn't want to
there.
commit.
Yeah. She's like, oh, we are.
Yeah.
We are.
I know we've all had friends with benefits. Cool.
Nice.
Very cool. We wanted to ask you what if you guys can ask. This is your opportunity to ask Sasquatch pretty much any question. You want.
How come there's no physical DNA evidence?
Did you see that woman in Colorado with the goats?
What are your thoughts? Yeah. You know, he does make a really good point. I hadn't really considered it that way, but when he puts it that way, it's a lot more clear.
It's hard to refute it.
Yeah.
So obvious now.
Clearly.
Oh man.
It's interesting that they're wearing merch. That the Sasquatch is wearing your merch. Is that an Endeavor hat?
Well, yeah, I mean, we feature them. They're actually kind of our mascots. We pay them a royalty
Okay.
for appearances.
That makes
so,
sense.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Clearly.
That's awesome.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get that check out to your nest.
Maybe this
in
is
the future, okay?
maybe this is
People
the
in
reason.
the bar in the background of the video being like, "What is going on?"
Everyone's
This
so
is-
confused.
This is why they can't be
Now's your
found. They're hidden
opportunity.
in plain sight.
They hide in plain sight. Yeah, they're everywhere.
He's like,
Yeah, so there must be an urban variant, like an urban Yeti variant.
The urban Yeti.
Yeah.
This this is like immigrated from the Himalaya right here.
Yeah, I mean, straight out. You must have Himalayan ancestry roots. Is that the right way to say that? Yeah,
That makes sense. It makes
that's
sense.
Totally,
It makes
total
sense.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Again, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, yeah. I guess. I mean, I don't fully understand the intricacies of the Sasquatch, taxonomy and family tree, but when they sum it up like that, it makes.
Well,
it
you
seem-
got a chance to ask now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, true. True. Yeah. That may be a slightly strong opinion for a lot of our viewers and listeners right now, but I mean, I think we can all kind of get behind that. Yeah. Cool. All right, man. Well, Mr. Sasquatch, thank you so much for joining us today.
This
Do
is
you
my
have
first
anything else?
encounter.
Yeah, this is
This
my first encounter.
This is my first encounter with
Hard
both.
evidence.
With both.
All right. And with that, all right. See you later.
Well, see you later.
See you later. He does have a big gulp there too. I mean,
I saw. I was wondering what he was drinking.
Big gulps, huh? Well,
Yeah.
Oh, it's a straw.
Nice.
Okay.
And that looks like one of our banana
Shaka? Or is
hammock.
that the
No,
hammock?
that's the
Hey, that's
banana
a good,
hammock.
That's a good
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah, 6.9% ABV in our banana hammock. Does that count as one of? No, I don't think so. All right. All right. Thanks,
Nice.
Squatchy.
It's all foam through a straw. Beer.
That's true.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, go grab a beer.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Nice to have an encounter.
Hey, you might want to put a mask on when you go out to the bar, though.
That's true. That's true.
Just saying.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Doesn't have a mask on
Yeah.
at all right now.
That's good.
Interesting how
Well
the
done.
female
Well done.
Sasquatch has already taken on the female dress and
Yeah,
earrings.
I like that. I like
Are you
that.
there's some stereotypes
Did
being
you
enforced here.
just assume their gender pronouns with?
I mean, that's probably not correct. We have to be sensitive for how the Sasquatchoids identify.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of a bar kind of thing going on there, where the elephant goes and gets taught by the little lady to walk upright and wear the clothes and drive the car, and he's king of the jungle. I think
see.
something. Like
Do they
that.
get paid overtime for that?
I think we're getting close to ready for another drink
Oh.
too.
Yeah.
Do you want to text up?
Oh, you have a text? Or?
We just normally have to awkwardly exit camera. Be like, I gotta go to the mini fridge.
We have a bar
Yeah.
at our disposal.
have
I do.
We have a Miles.
Wrong button.
I do. This is awesome. And the fact that we have this room here and then you just have
Yeah.
a bar right there is
Yeah.
is really sick.
Yeah, you guys can kind of. I mean, on camera, you can sort of see.
Oh, you can
just
see
walking in
people.
the front
Yeah,
door,
you can see
kinda
people.
coming
That's
down.
cool.
Yeah.
A nice patio.
This
and
is a
sunny
solid.
day.
Actually, there's a decent amount of people here, Scott.
Yeah. I mean, it's people are getting shots. I've had my 2 shots. Gary's has her 2 shots.
Oh, we're only one shot in.
one
Second
shot
next
down.
week.
Second next week. I
Yeah.
just
We go
literally
seconds.
got mine
You
this
just
morning.
got
Oh, tomorrow. Good
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah, I've heard.
That's
I've
how
heard.
now everybody can, it just discloses your age now. It's like,
Yeah.
Which ones did you guys get?
oh, we're in the 40 and
40.
above.
No. Which vaccine did you get?
The 40 to 45 box.
I'm Team Moderna.
Nice.
We are too.
Moderna.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
we've got a
Yes.
Nice.
You want to hear something creepy about our Moderna experience?
We all got. Yeah. Well, tell them.
you, me, and our sister all had massive red.
Same rashes.
Same rashes.
At the site of injection.
Right
And
here.
it showed up like 4 or 5 days afterwards.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a swollen lymph node under my armpit on that side, so I'm a little scared about number 2.
Number 2's putting me down.
Yeah, I'm a little
Number
worried.
1
Are you-
hit me.
Really?
Are you sure it's
Bad.
not Lyme disease, by the way?
Oh, crap.
No, I'm not sure, Scott. Thanks.
Just sleep well tonight. That's cool.
Wait, so what did number 1 do to you?
So number 1, just really bad fatigue, upset stomach, really bad migraine. For
Okay.
like 4 or 5 days.
4 or 5 days?
So
Wow.
you've had number 2?
Yeah, my second one, I was a little tired.
But you're good?
But I came to work the next day.
Did you have-
No problem.
did you-
Little bit of vertigo.
Did you have
What was-
COVID? Did you have COVID?
No, I never tested positive for COVID.
Interesting.
But I told Scott when I texted him after I got the first shot, I forget how I described it to you. I was like, I don't know, it's like this wonky, like elevator feeling. Like it wasn't like I felt like I couldn't get out of bed or anything like that. But it was like, you know, when the elevator drops and you get that.
Yeah, that's
kinda like-
vertigo.
That's how I felt.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And weren't you saying that way back before the pandemic was a thing, you guys had a flu and you got
Yeah.
sick, and you know, so there's a chance that
Might
Yeah.
have been.
might
Yeah.
have been before, because then it just keeps coming out. It was here before people
Right.
knew about it too.
Yeah.
But anytime that, you know, I did get tested, it was negative. But the last time I was really sick was, back in like February, March of like last year.
Okay.
Yeah, you had
You
co-
know.
you had COVID.
That was COVID. if anyone ever says they were really, really sick in like January or February of 2020, I'm like,
I was
"That
just in
COVID."
Seattle, and, you know.
Yeah,
You're on the
yeah.
Diamond Princess cruise ship.
You're just
mean-
docked.
Weird.
I was on a.
You were visiting family in
But
Wuhan.
I don't think it was that.
We did this
guys.
really nice street food tour of the, you know, the bat delicacy. It's probably not politically correct to say. But
Well, I mean, there's I have a friend who had COVID and he got Moderna and his first shot put him down.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I had COVID.
Yeah, you
My
had
whole family
COVID.
Did,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving week, and so that's what I've heard. So your second exposure is typically, everyone's a little different. Different things can happen, but so my first shot, I went to bed at 7:00 that night and was just wiped out, you know, and I wasn't sure how I was going to wake up, and felt better the next day. So I didn't have anything crazy over the top, but definitely didn't feel good. So I'm wondering how
Tomorrow's gonna
tomorrow's
be.
going to be. It could be better.
Yeah.
Or it could be worse. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, we're due for our seconds next week, and
Yeah, mine's on Wednesday.
I'm trying to make the next day after be as light as possible because everyone's just like it's. But
I've-
then you talk to some people and they're like, it's
Yeah.
fine. Like, it
Yeah.
didn't affect us at all. So I don't know. I'm just looking.
That was the only good thing about getting, you know, feeling really crappy on the first. So like, I'm good for the second.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, okay, just get it out of the way. So
It's how good of a feeling is it though after you got that?
it's so
vaccine?
great.
It's like
And
I'm
it
ready
was-
to lick
it was
doorknobs.
shocking.
Yeah.
It was shocking to me. I mean, we had a skip day that day because my husband and I were having our son's
Team
orientation
Moderna.
for kindergarten. So we all, you know, kind of took the afternoon, and I'm like, I'm just going to run in here. It'll be like 15 minutes. They'll make me wait. I'll be right back. You guys hang out. And instantly, I was just like, I didn't expect it, but it's been a long year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to have that.
Even after
have
getting
that.
the first one, because the first one gets you some really solid protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks after.
2 weeks into it, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not as
Up
good
in
as
the
2
80s or
shots.
whatever,
Yeah.
yeah.
But even after I had that first one, I was like, God, thank God. It's a
Yeah.
nightmare. It's
That
getting
was-
past us.
That was sort of the
Yep.
relief of actually having it too.
It's
You
true.
know,
Yeah.
like
Right.
when
Just get it over with.
We gave it to one person, our neighbor. Sorry, Dan.
Oh, you did?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so-
did you give him a gift basket?
So the deal was, Meg had a charity volleyball tournament.
Glazed right over
and-
there.
No gift
We
basket.
did. We gave
check
him,
a gift basket to Dan.
gave him an edible arrangements. It's fine. So I've had a few Chardonnays. What of it? You know, it was just, so she had a charity volleyball tournament
Yeah.
and came home and then found out that 2 of her teammates had tested positive. So before any of us had symptoms. And we had literally hung out with their neighbors that night before she found out the next morning. So we immediately quarantined, blah, blah, blah. Full on COVID. I tested. We all tested. The kids had mild fevers and some runny noses for a couple of days. But the worst part was I was stuck by myself for 6 days with a 3-year-old and a 9-month-old.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
With 0 possible chance of
rather be
relief.
hospitalized.
Yeah. And it was that was rough. But after that, it was actually nice though, because it was like,
Put me on the ventilator.
we all survived with minimal. We didn't feel good, but none of us had serious symptoms, serious complications, and the fact that we then had it over, and then we can feel better about we didn't give it to anyone that compromised them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So when you found out that the 2 people had tested positive, were you like, oh crap, like we got to get our affairs in order, like we got to line up, like let's fill the pantry, like we're in for the long haul?
I mean, we had not that much. We have a lot of family in town, so we had good support. You know, we had people drop off groceries, and we did, some food order drop-offs, and my parents just brought us a whole Thanksgiving meal and just left it on the porch, that kind of thing. But what we did do is I was upstairs with the kids, and she went downstairs and then she got tested positive. Then I didn't start getting symptoms till like Wednesday.
Oh, so you're a little staggered.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Nice.
Separate like that.
And then until mine came back, which is like that next Saturday, then we couldn't commingle.
Oh, I see.
But the nice thing is when she was getting past the worst of it, I was getting to my worst of it, and then she could you take the kids for 2 days while I go sleep.
So how did the kids handle it? Did they have any symptoms or anything?
They had for 2 days, 3 days, fevers, little over 100, some runny noses, and a little tired, but
they were good.
They still had plenty of energy. Believe me, my kids have a lot of energy. Yeah. And yeah, they were fine after that. So we didn't even, we talked to the pediatrician. We didn't even test them because your whole house has it. They have some symptoms of it. They've got it. Don't jab them.
Did you do a big deep clean afterwards, like Lysol everything?
We did. We did a pretty good cleaning and washed all the clothes and sheets and blankets.
And you guys donated plasma after that too. I remember you telling me.
Yeah. That's a good way to get an antibody test then too.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Get a free one.
Yeah, and it helps people out. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm in my head, like the last month, I've almost been back to normal life. Nothing's normal because you have to wear masks places. Like that's not normal. It's fine. But in my head, I'm slowly getting back to the idea of normal life. That's because we were traveling last week. Have you guys flown?
I am.
Done a bunch.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's actually it feels
it's pretty safe. It feels safe. Yeah.
Yeah. And it
I
was.
know, yeah.
It was. We've both been back though for a while, so don't worry.
Yeah, just
we're clean. We're clean. We're clean.
Yeah.
We're
We were
one shot
vaccinated
in.
going there.
Yeah.
One shot there.
Yeah. And and it was interesting because I went to some places in Colorado where it's way stricter than it is here.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of it's fine. I mean it's good. And that kind of caught me off guard because I was outside running without a mask on, and I was in an area where you had to wear masks outside everywhere. I was like, oh shit.
Wow. Where was that?
In Breckenridge, Colorado.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it was weird because here in the city, everyone seems to take it at least fairly seriously, but no one's wearing masks outside.
No. You go.
You know?
I mean, you're walking on the sidewalk anyway.
Yeah, you're not wearing. But I went to places where there was, and I was like, oh wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
Kind of a culture shock.
To me, that's strange. It's odd.
It's not bad. I mean, I get why they do it.
Of course. Yeah.
And it was just I was like, oh yeah, Ohio isn't super strict.
We're Republicans.
We're a red state.
Yeah,
we're a red state.
We're not like Texas and Florida.
Honestly, for a red state, we've taken it more seriously than
DeWine was
some
aggressive.
red states.
Yeah, for sure. And it feels good to live in a place that took a little more seriously.
For sure.
Yeah, especially in this community that we find ourselves in, is more traveled and global and believers in science as a general statement.
Yeah.
And it's been nice, and we're getting those customers back now too. And
Yeah. So one thing
you got a good showing right now.
Yeah. One thing I want. There's a lot of people here.
Yeah, Miles just gave me the thumbs up. I saw them running back and forth.
Sure,
so
they're little.
Our drinks are coming.
That's one
Obviously,
thing.
they
serve them first.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, serve the paying customers first.
We'll wait, I guess.
But that's one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was as a small business, and especially as a bar, a social business. Like, are you seeing things start to come back? Like, is it? I know like the health orders are still in effect, correct?
Yeah.
Like, where people have to wear masks and like you have the tables like spaced out and stuff like that. Have they given you any? I know DeWine gave some like high up statistic, but have they given you any guidance on like when you're going to be back to normal?
No, I mean,
In terms of a date, no.
yeah, not
Like
as far as a
anything? Have they
date,
even,
but
like-
as far as like numbers, you know,
And he announced when it's down to, is it
That's what I thought. It's
50
like
cases
50
yeah, 50
per
per
100,000.
100,000.
Okay.
And that's a 3-week average, then all,
All
restrictions
restrictions.
will be removed.
Does that basically mean full capacity inside?
Full capacity, no
effectively?
masks,
Okay.
all those.
And of course, we've had a lot of conversations that depending on the timing of that and what's going on,
Yeah.
we probably aren't just going to wave a magic wand and overnight be
Right,
back
right.
like
Yeah.
nothing happened. We're going to take a little bit of time, see how things
Yeah.
go,
Right.
see what other people are doing. We're not going to be the guinea pigs
Yeah.
for my staff
Right.
or
Right.
our guests.
right.
And then we'll gradually start adding some tables back in. When we as a staff feel comfortable removing masks when it's fine, we'll allow staff members to make that decision. And same with guests,
Okay.
that kind of thing. So we'll have recommendations, and then we'll have things that we're enforcing. And
Yeah.
it's just we have no idea. We've never done this before.
Right.
So we're gonna figure it out like we
It's
have
not
this
going to
entire
be
year.
like, party.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
just overnight.
I think
Shots.
Hack the bar.
I think people
Burn the mask.
people are ready.
They will.
They're ready.
They will.
Especially with this
Absolutely.
weather.
With the weather gets nice.
Sure.
I
The
mean,
crew.
Sure.
crew's back in season. I mean, people are gonna be ready to drink.
Yeah. Hopefully, like, the city will be responsible too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys had to deal with like health inspectors? Like, do they come through? Do they check that like
Yeah.
you're spaced out?
God.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we've had health inspectors, and
Always come on this podcast.
I can't finish that and a sangria.
That I do want to talk. That beer is really good.
Yeah, that's the Nordeck beer that
Thank
we
you,
actually just did.
Miles.
The
Hey,
Nordeck
thank you.
is
Yeah,
the
thank you.
North.
They go,
Appreciate it.
oh, it's so great. You guys have. Yeah, right.
This is great.
They said it's great. You guys have a bar. I'm like, we have a Miles.
Miles is great.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got
These are like
This is
fancy, too.
Whoa.
Thank
I feel like I'm on Sex on the City.
I'm Samantha.
Hey, thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Following up with an orangutan in there.
Yeah. So this is sangria.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie, tell us a little bit about this.
What is
concoction.
sangria?
So
Great question.
Blood.
So this is what I was making when Scott goes, we have 6 minutes. I'm like, we're going to sell sangria this weekend. So I just married a few recipes together. It's a,
Whoa.
That's a summer drink.
Yeah. that's
Spanish
nice.
tradition. So red wine, fruit, some brandy. But
Oh,
I put
brandy.
I put Hennessy in it.
Oh, God.
The Henny.
We got some cognac, which is the same as brandy, just has to be from France instead
Yeah.
of brandy can be from anywhere in the world. And yeah,
So you guys
a good,
are you selling this?
Malbec.
Like, can I go to the bar and be like,
Yeah, you sure
that's
can.
really good.
Yep.
That is good.
It goes down
So we put
real
blueberries,
fast.
raspberries, strawberries, oranges.
This could-
some
these are
raw
dangerous.
sugar.
Yeah, the fruit.
Hennessy,
Henny
and
Gross.
This
some
is great
Malbec.
topic.
Getting ready
Too.
for Cinco de Mayo.
Ah,
Coming
that
up
makes
here in a couple of
sense.
weeks. Lisa Williams also said,
Lisa's
Shout out
ours.
to
We
Lisa.
brought her over.
Yeah, these are our people.
we're in a red state but a blue city, and that pretty much sums up. Especially
Very
this
true.
part of Columbus. We're in
Very
the Grandview
true.
area, and that's very, very true.
It is. Well, I'll tell you though, it is crazy. If you go just go 5 miles outside of the city, and it's a whole different ballgame.
We have personal experience with that.
I can tell you. It's
Tell
like,
us your best story.
I mean, it's just a different. People say Republican, Democrat, and it is that, but it's
No,
it's
this is not even-
It's cities versus non-cities.
Yeah.
At least in this state.
But I wouldn't even call some of the out there. They don't even label themselves Republican or
No,
Democrat. It's
right.
like
No,
it's
it's-
like don't tread on me.
It's
period.
It's just old school
Libertarian.
conservative libertarian values. Yeah, it's not even like a red thing. Yeah, it's like it's just different. And to each their own. You know, there are some cool aspects of going out to the country. You know, there are definitely some things those people have right.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm right on that. I'm right on like a curve.
I have a 5-year-old and a puppy at home,
Yeah.
so I'm constantly
Nice. No, this is an awesome table though. We have not discussed this table.
Yeah, this
yet.
is Ohio black walnut. Actually, it's a live edge plank. Gorgeous.
This must have been a big tree.
Huge
Right?
tree. Yeah, because it's all just a single piece.
I can't
and they're
imagine
part
how
of the
much
same
this
tree.
costs.
Well,
These are
yeah.
pricey.
Didn't
So we basically, a friend of a friend had these 2 pieces in a storage locker.
Wow.
And we basically got them, and it's just simple, little epoxy on the live edge and some tung oil finish, and had another guy weld up a steel base for us.
just
what
that.
what we paid for this was the raw
No
wood.
big deal, guys.
So it's
Just
like
a little epoxy tongue edge welding work.
So we like doing a lot of our own stuff around here. Actually, we you were asking about the pandemic and how that changed businesses.
Yeah.
When
We can go back to that.
yeah. When we first hit the lockdown, it was, I think I told you guys this, but we we had to furlough people. Like, we didn't know what was going on. But once the PPP money came through too, we could bring people back in. And it was nice though, because we had all these credit card miles that had built up over the years from ordering a bunch of sacks of grain, and we just converted them into Lowe's Depot gift cards.
Oh.
And redid our bathrooms, redid the
Oh,
cabinets behind
nice.
the bar, poured some epoxy countertop stuff, like just made some little projects that we've been wanting to do that take time and you have to be shut down to do.
Yeah.
And niceified things just using our own labor and some friends
Yeah.
and cards from points. So it cost us nothing but the time that we suddenly had for the 5 or 6 weeks when we were completely shut down.
That's a good use of that time then.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll never forget when we came over and saw you. Like, it was
You're
like
crushing hand sanitizer
yeah,
at that point.
but we were like fully masked, like keeping our distance and
Nice.
Gloves, and we were wiping down
Yeah.
the POS screen between every customer and credit cards, and it was because no one knew contact at that point.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's when I think back. So when I was getting my first shot, I was like, we did one of those like mass vaccination clinics out in the country, and I was just thinking this is a movie. Like, I'm sitting here a year later in a mass vaccination site against some disease we didn't even know existed really a year ago. It's just like something out of a movie. It's insane.
Yeah, Contagion.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not that different from Contagion.
Did you
it's something
notice
out of, like, a
though,
scary
how
movie.
Netflix suddenly put all the scary movies on
yeah.
during the? What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
What are you doing? You're freaking us all
Yeah.
out.
Well,
all of them suddenly came
yeah.
out.
I mean, I remember like in March, like all the streaming services just like dumped everything on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
They just did anything that was in queue. They're just like put forward. I mean, there needs to be there needs to be a national holiday like in the future for the day that the Tiger King series was released.
That was right. That was
Because that was like first lockdown.
that
Like,
was the
it's
very
like, have you seen
beginning of
Tiger King?
lockdown.
Have you
Oh.
seen Tiger King?
Yeah.
Look at that crazy guy.
Our
so
lives
amazing.
are bad.
He's still in jail.
Still in jail.
They
He
thought-
didn't get his
he
pardon.
thought Trump was
Trump was going to pardon him. Ooh.
He had the limo waiting.
Did he really?
Yeah, he had a limo waiting. Yeah.
There has to be a Tiger King part 2, like just that follow-up story.
We got to get him out of jail.
He thought Trump was going to. Sorry. What was it? Joe? That's right. Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
What's his name? Joe.
It turns out
And he has
it's
some like really stupid last
Yeah.
name. I remember. That's like not cool.
yeah. It turns out it's illegal to try to have somebody killed.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ordering a hit.
Did you guys watch Anderson Cooper? Did you for New Year's Eve? Which program do you watch?
I'm asleep.
That was a sound
you're
asleep.
not, like-
Actually, I was in a cabin in
Okay.
California.
So
That's
they had
right.
Carol Baskin on.
Did they really?
And they just do shots on the hour every hour. So it was pretty.
Do you know-
Pretty awesome.
You can get a cameo.
Yeah,
of her.
do you
I
know
saw
she's on Cameo?
People getting cameos from Carol Baskin.
Do you know what Cameo is?
Is that where you get the?
You can pay money.
You pay like a B-list celebrity to say
Oh,
something
yeah,
for you.
yeah.
and you can write out a message. and
Also
they'll do a-
C-list.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like
So-
way below B-list.
So you can get Carol Baskin.
Like you could probably get like Jake from State Farm. I'm serious. But people, we know a small business owner in Pennsylvania that got Carol Baskin to read a message to their staff. I thought that was pretty funny.
My almost 4-year-old son likes to tease people by calling them Carol Baskins.
Nice.
You're Carol Baskins. He just starts cracking up. It's
Nice. Teaching them
It's
well.
obnoxious.
Teaching them
And
well.
then October of 20, everybody's dressing up as Tiger King characters.
Yeah. For the Halloween
Yep,
we didn't
Halloween.
really have,
Yeah.
but kind of.
And it was a rainy, cold day, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
Yeah. That's right.
No one,
yeah.
like it was just canceled.
Yeah, they canceled it and rescheduled it for that Saturday, which was
That's
actually, like,
right.
perfect.
Yeah. I'm just expecting all the holidays this year to be like twice as big because we missed them last year.
Oh yeah.
4th of July, I bet Cinco de Mayo. That's a good one, especially if the weather's nice.
Yeah.
I wonder what day of the week
Oh, your
that
wife
is.
just commented. She wants sangria too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, my wife lived in Spain.
I want that.
Sangrias, she enjoys. We just need some tapas.
Yeah.
Come top of.
Like I said, it's a question. Like, is that the right word?
Yeah, it's text
Tapas and
text
some-
your guy.
Some
See
ceviche.
if we have any
Miles,
tapas.
Miles. Get some tapas.
Let's just have Lisa make us some paella.
Do you have your
We
guests?
have to go. You can take one to go.
I was going to ask that actually, because I got when I was here a long time ago, I got to go mojitos and to go. What else did you have?
An old fashioned.
Good old fashions. Oh, we had the planner's punch. That
Planner's
was
punch was.
Is the so?
Awesome.
I think this is true, but is the to-go drinks here to stay?
Yes.
And it should.
Oh,
be.
okay.
That's
so that's
awesome.
done. Yeah, about time.
and you
Several
can now
good
get
things.
3.
Yeah.
per
They upped it
person.
to
Per
3
person? Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
they always should have had.
100%. I think.
Yeah.
It's funny
It's a win
that
for everybody.
Yeah, and I think they finally some of the draconian laws that were on the books about
Yeah.
they see we let this happen and nothing bad happened. In fact, it helped out small businesses.
Yeah.
And guess what? The state is making more money on tax.
Right.
Right.
So
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's
That's right. I forgot that the wine or something they like mandated the to-go drinks is like in law.
Yeah, it was
now.
like temporary, and then you could sell back liquor.
I remember
as
that.
well.
Yeah, there were a few things like that. I mean but then you just have to buy it right back when you went to open.
Right.
When you
So,
need it, right.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like, I mean, that was just if people were in a really hard cash position or they just placed a large order, they could return it.
Yeah, because it was right around St. Patty's Day, so I'm sure
Yeah,
there were a
that's
lot
right.
of bars that were
For
like,
sure.
"Crap,
What do I do with
all
this?"
this Jameson?
Exactly. But yeah, the to-go cocktails is huge. They also signed in some permanent stuff where if you have your property or parking lot, if you separate it, you can actually have events outside in your own property that
With alcohol?
Yes, with
Okay.
alcohol, so your liquor license can apply to that too.
So
Is
we
this
could
yours?
be
Is this
raging
yours?
out back here.
Well, this is the public street, but over here. So in the past, we've actually had permitted events where we have to shut the street down and we have it in the parking spot back here. But it's like you've got to pay hundreds of dollars for permits and do all this stuff. And if we wanted to, we could set up a fence and just have tables in the parking area
Yeah.
out here. But then we don't have parking,
Yeah.
which is a premium in this area. So
You have a good parking setup.
it's much better than
Then,
a lot
like,
of places.
It's better than
crazy new
any
area.
bar in this area, I would say.
So depending on where you are, that's huge because
Yeah.
you can then use your parking lot next to you to have a festival or things like that, and you don't have to.
That's staying.
That's staying as well.
Okay,
That was
that's
signed into
cool.
permanent law.
That's cool.
And then the drinks to go in the maximum volumes and all that stuff. So that's
Wait, what's the maximum volume of drink to go?
yes, correct.
Okay, so it's
Got it.
3.
Oh, it's actually so they're like, hey, this is going well. Let's make it more.
Yeah.
Is it like a drink being like a beer or like 4 ounces of wine?
So
or is
we've always been able to sell a
bottle.
bottle of wine or packaged beer. So I can sell you a growler. That's always
That's
been
right,
the case.
that's true,
Or I
that's
can
true.
sell you 6 packs to go. Right. I couldn't sell you liquor to go, or liquor
okay.
by the glass. Right. So
Like a bottle of liquor, yeah. Like
Yes.
Like
gin
I could be like,
or
I
vodka.
need 3 shots of Jameson to go.
Exactly.
but only because
We
we're a
can now.
distillery. So pre-COVID, because we're a distillery, I could sell you a bottle of our vodka to go. I can't sell you a shot of Tito's. to go.
Really?
Oh.
Now with the new law, it's up to 2 ounces per drink and up to 3 drinks per person.
2 ounces per drink. That's
Yeah.
legit.
That's a stiff drink. Standard
So that's
carries
old
are.
fashioned Manhattan. So the planner's punch, so that's 6 ounces,
Per person.
because
Decent.
it's
All
2 per
right.
drink,
We can
3
party.
per person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can party. That's cool though.
We make big party. Boom, boom.
One of the things I did during COVID is I learned how to make I created my own, but a really awesome old fashioned.
You did get into cocktails.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people got into drinking.
And I don't want to brag, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else are you gonna do? You can sit inside for like a year.
Oh, you're on my headphone cord. It's okay.
Yeah, it's funny that I've never really been a cocktail guy. Like I got into beer
I like
going
a
to
good
school
cocktail.
out in Colorado and
Yeah.
Boulder, and then I lived in Scotland
we're
for a
good.
year. Really got into whiskeys, and so I lived in Chile, so I like red wines with dinner, And I've always been a glass of red wine, a nice beer, give me some whiskey, little water, little ice. And if someone gives me a cocktail, I'm going to drink it. But I never really got into it. But so I've always been about making beer and making spirits. But then Carrie, and we have several other bartenders here. Carrie has a background she went to culinary school.
Yeah, so you know a lot.
Nice.
Are
Are we getting like some food courses next?
A lot. But
Well, we have a food truck here.
yeah, we
Big
do
Bite.
Big Bite food truck.
My
Yeah.
wife actually wanted to know what food truck is
Yeah,
here.
they're great.
Big
So,
Bite food truck.
Okay.
Yes, delightful.
I've so far tried their burger and their black bean burger. So delicious. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so Carrie's definitely brought me around on the cocktail thing, and I've learned a lot. I'm still nowhere near an expert on cocktailing.
How is
cocktailery,
how is the distilling? Because that's relatively new to you guys. How has the distilling been going? Are you enjoying it as much as brewing beer?
Absolutely. In some ways, I enjoy it more. I think if I were to choose one single favorite category, it would be whiskey.
Really?
That's my.
I was going to tell
absolute
you,
favorite.
I've been enjoying your bourbon.
Lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys got a test batch, so
It's
bourbon is
good.
not
It's
released to general
smooth.
public.
It's
yet,
good.
Sorry,
but this
can't
summer
talk
will be.
about it.
It's really
you can-
good.
You can talk about it. We got you guys the sample bottles.
Yeah.
Of both the malt whiskey and the bourbon.
I'm just amazed at how
I like the whiskey too.
how
Yeah,
smooth
it's
and
really good.
creamy it is for how.
We're bourbon snobs. True story.
So am I.
True story.
Yeah.
No, it's
really
really
good.
Do you have are you going to make some other things?
Yes. So this summer we've got the bourbon malt whiskey coming out, and then we also have a cherry wood aged gin. So we take our botanical and then age it in toasted cherry wood.
Oh,
And then
cool.
we
So
have actually we should have Miles bring us some samples.
I was like, what's next?
And also
Yeah,
we
sangria
take
goes
our
down way too fast.
I
goes
gotta-
down
It's
so fast.
all booze.
we take our
Really?
white rum and age it in ambarana and French oaks. And that's
Crazy.
another. It's
I don't know what Ambarano is, but
It-
it's
Ambarano's a
sounds
Brazilian
good.
oak.
real smooth.
It's a Brazilian oak species.
Which one do you want me to order from like 10 feet away?
The cherry botanical, just sips of the cherry
Yeah,
botanical
just-
and a sip of the ambarana rum.
Nice.
Because, yes, and get your thoughts on it. So.
No, I was the whole distilling thing. Like, I don't really know much about anything. I know some things about brewing beer. I don't really know anything about brewing spirits.
So this is my honest feedback too. In the out of all the Columbus distilleries that I've tasted bourbon from, I like yours the best.
Yeah, unpopular opinion. The Watershed stuff. Eh.
Sorry.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what?
Well-
The Watershed guys are really good. They're good people.
Yeah.
And they make
Very good.
fantastic
Yeah.
gin, like their 4-peel gin. And really, so their setup is a gin setup
Yeah.
too. And the one interesting thing is that we have a very small still, so we can't produce much volume. But down the road, I really, as we start expanding and doing other things, really want to lean into whiskey. There's not a single distillery that I'm aware of here that has a proper whiskey setup. It's a lot of
Yeah.
vodka gin
Say,
stills.
what's
hybrid
different
stills.
about that setup?
So a lot of it comes down to you can make different things. So there's a column still, there's a pot still, are two main categories.
I've heard of
it's like
I've
flute
seen
stills,
the
yeah.
pot still.
But and so bourbon is traditionally made in some kind of column setup,
Yeah.
but Scotch whiskey, for example, is only made with traditional pot stills.
Right.
And there's a lot of different things. So Stranahan's out of Colorado, if you're familiar with them. I'll get you a sample. It's amazing.
Easy on the samples here.
It's
Easy.
We have so many samples.
It's a craft American. It's a Colorado whiskey that is malt, so it's 100% malted barley, but it's aged in new charred American oak, and their still setup is effectively the bottom shape of a pot still, but the top shape of a column still with a few plates. So it's sort of like a hybridized style that falls between what you'd expect a malt Scotch whiskey and an American bourbon. So you get the vanilla and the char of a bourbon, but you get the deep malt profile.
Yours is
And ours is very much a step in that direction.
Yeah, you've got definitely some vanilla in there.
Yeah, because we use new charred oak in our a little bit of new charred oak in our malt whiskey as well.
Yeah, no, it was good.
You have to, in the United States,
You have to
age
use
in new charred oak
yeah.
to be. That's not just for bourbon; it's for rye, it's for wheat, it's for.
You should, yeah. I mean, you should buy all the used barrels and just make American whiskey.
That's what the Brits do.
Yeah,
That's what the Scots do,
Yeah.
and we can't label it whiskey.
you can't.
You can't label it malt whiskey, bourbon whiskey, rye whiskey,
Can
or
you just label it whiskey?
you could probably label it like a whiskey product. I'd have to check the TTB regulations and the labeling laws. There's a lot of archaic labeling laws, and there's actually a big push to change some of those. So I think that's something that is in active discussion with the legislation right now.
Okay.
Because it's things like that where, yes, we need to protect people doing things that are dangerous and people doctoring and putting bad crap into stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
But if you're actually making an artistic endeavor,
God.
pun intended, to
Love it.
You got a big crowd coming in right now.
I'm like,
They're here to
watching all
party.
this, and I'm like, I have
4
3
miles.
people.
Oh my
bar
god.
back doesn't come in for 45 minutes.
Miles, tend to the paying customers first.
I can wash dishes.
We have 45 minutes.
No, it's great to see all these people. I'm telling you, people are sick of being inside. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
Like, and you guys have a fantastic patio.
Nice
And-
patio. It's sunny.
And
beautiful.
I was gonna say it's perfect because you get the sun in the afternoon out there. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And you get the food truck out there.
Yeah.
It's just I keep seeing all these people come in. I'm like,
Hey,
oh,
let's get your warehouse bonded. You could do like bottle and bond and stuff.
Well, our warehouse is bonded, so
Really?
our production facility is.
What is that?
Is
What
a
is
bonded
that? What is that?
space.
It's
So-
government inspected.
I've heard
right?
bottled
Terminology.
and bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so bottle and bond is
It protects
it's a
the
list.
integrity, right?
I mean, yes and no. But largely, if you're using good practices, it doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right,
But
right.
it
And that's what
guarantees that
everybody says.
it has a higher level of guarantee that you're using good practices. So,
Yeah.
bottle and bond specifically, I don't remember all the details off the top of my head. Google search it, but I think it's 3 years in the same
Yeah.
facility. And there's also some restrictions on the grain has to be from the same harvest season, I think,
Oh,
for the whole
really?
recipe or something. There's some weird stuff like that with bottle and bond that doesn't necessarily make sense, but it means you're using fresh grain. That's all kind of from the same time. So you're not using like old stale product that's been sitting around. And that's kind of the original interpretation of that law a century ago. Probably made sense because people are, we've got like 5-year-old weed in
Yeah.
the back there.
Yeah.
It's rotting with ergots. Let's throw it in and make some whiskey out of it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
crap like that might have happened. And just saying it, you're giving it time. You're properly aging it. You're not blending and vatting. So a lot of people, even a lot of small craft distilleries, they buy their products. So a huge percentage of rye whiskeys, when you look at the back of a bottle of rye whiskey and it says distilled in Indiana, but bottled and packaged in Ohio, Kentucky,
Right.
wherever, and typically you see this on rye whiskeys or even bourbons, there's a company called MGP,
Yeah,
Midwest
yeah.
Grain Products,
Yeah.
that makes
Everything.
thousands of gallons of really good whiskey distillate. So people buy that, blend it with their own, and bottle it under their own label and do these kind of things. So they buy it and age it themselves typically and do stuff. And that's common practice in the industry. But it also kind of gets around that.
I
And when you
see.
bottle and bond, no, you're making that yourself on your bonded premises the
Right.
whole time.
Did you have to go through some sort of like certification process to become bonded or like?
Well, that's just your permits. So
Okay.
we're set up both federally and on the state level to make both beer and liquor. And we're
Okay.
the only ones in Central Ohio that have both of those. There are breweries, there are
Really?
distilleries. There are no other brew distilleries in Central
Really?
Ohio. Correct.
I feel like that's not discussed enough.
Yeah. That's not. People don't know
the
that.
distillery was launched like essentially in the middle of the pandemic.
That's
So
right.
it was like what 3 or 4? No, St. Patrick's Day last year was supposed to be.
Well, May 1st is when we could start selling our spirits for the first time. But it was December when our permits came through. We had product ready to go, but then it takes months to get into the Ohio database and label approval and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
You know? It took us about a year to get to that point too. So it was roughly about a year for permitting process, and then you have your product, and you have to wait a few months for it to be ready that you can legally sell it. So we announced in March that we were becoming a distillery, or just at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think it was at the end of the year before pandemic, and then May 1st was our first
So we
day
had
in
a
the
big
middle
St.
of the
Patrick's Day because Saga was being canned out. And
Yep. Yeah, we canned our first batch of Icelandic Saga beer on St. Patrick's Day in the middle of a pandemic.
yeah.
Nice.
So then after, everybody started coming back, everyone, a lot of people didn't know that we were a distillery also.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, these
You loaded
cocktails are
up right
good.
away.
Can I have a Tito's? It's like, we don't have Tito's here.
Yeah.
We actually make it ourselves.
I didn't realize you're the only place here that does both.
It does both, yeah.
I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
There's a handful of others in the state of Ohio. So
Really?
we're not the only ones in Ohio, but I know
But
there's
only like a couple.
I want to say there's maybe 6, give or take.
Interesting.
I could be wrong on that, but that's about right. I know that there's, I think, 2 in Cincinnati. There's at least 1 in Cleveland, and at least 1 in Dayton.
But you're the only
And there might
one
be
in
some
Columbus.
others, and there may have been some others that have popped up in this last year that I'm not aware of too. But
I don't
they're
think
the only
many,
ones
I don't
in
think
Central
many
Ohio.
people are starting distilleries in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
You at least started the process before the pandemic hit.
Yeah, we, and it was kind of the plan from the get-go. So we launched the brewery in 2017 and really started the permitting process in 2018
To do
for
distilling.
to be a distillery as
and
well.
so it took 2 years.
Well, and it was 2018 to then the end of 2019. So very end of 2018, beginning of 2019 is when we started. We were in the planning process and all that kind of stuff. And then it was about a year for everything, and then waiting to be able to sell your product.
Is the distilling of spirits much more highly regulated than the brewing of beer?
100%. Yes.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
The
And-
the libertarian in me is fuming right now.
Well, and it comes down to several things, especially here in Ohio, like federally as well, because if you think about it, what they're really interested in is tax.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Of course.
and there's a higher volume tax,
Money are they
on
going
liquor
to get?
than there is on beer or wine.
Right.
And so, and the theory is you can take a jug of liquor and transport it pretty easy, or a barrel of beer is a lot
Right,
harder to move
right,
around
right.
and evade. So
Right.
think back to
Yeah.
like
It's all outdated, like archaic.
it's kind of
laws.
archaic
Yeah.
and outdated, but at one point in time, it made a lot of sense. And now it's just kind of that way. But the other thing is that different states handle their liquor differently. So in Ohio, anything that's less than 23%. So beer, wine, liquor can be sold in grocery stores or gas stations, places like that. You don't need a separate liquor store
right.
for that. And so we have a lot of freedom in the state of Ohio.
Not every state is
selling
like
our
that,
beer.
right.
Not every state's like that. Beer and wine in Ohio, very free, very open,
Yeah.
not a lot of red tape. We can sell directly to bars. We can sell to restaurants. I can get them a keg. I can sell individuals,
Yeah.
packaged beer. Pretty friendly. The problem is with liquor is that we're in a control state.
Yeah.
Ohio owns
Everything.
every
Yeah.
bottle of liquor that's
Yeah.
for sale. So when we sell you a bottle of liquor, technically we are operating as an Ohio liquor store. We are set up. We are only authorized to sell our own liquor to you.
Okay.
But so the bonded space is where we make the stuff. We have a case of vodka back there, for example. That has been made. It's sitting there. It's in bond, right? When I want to take that out to our bar, I have to submit a requisition to the state of Ohio saying, State of Ohio, please buy this case of vodka.
And then you have to buy it off of them.
Well, no, they pay us for that. So the distillery is paid for that case. Then I take it forward and I can sell it to my bar to make into drinks, and I can sell it to individuals. But at the end of the month, all of that money that we've taken in from using that vodka goes straight to the state.
That's so stupid.
Here's something crazy too. Here's
It's crazy.
Like when you explain
It's
it, I'm
like-
like, that makes no sense.
I worked at a grocery
He's
store.
explained it to me like 10 times,
makes
and
no
all I
sense.
know
No.
is Tell them if it's going to the bar or retail.
Here's something
Like,
crazy.
so you can take it
brain
from
shuts
this
off.
space, not this space, and this is what we do. This is the paperwork. This is
Keep retail and bars separate.
Here's something crazy. I worked at a grocery store in Ohio for like 3 years
With a liquor license, right?
With a liquor license, they sold liquor, and the state required them to have like a locked storage facility. And the state could come and go and transport and store liquor in there that wasn't theirs. And so they would come over and store liquor in there, and then they'd come and grab it. You couldn't, in the store that I worked at, the grocery store, they couldn't just go down there and be like, I'm going to sell this one. Like, it was a state, like, warehouse almost.
yeah. And it's a little different being a distillery, and this was legislative. So the reason why you saw more pop up recently is that in 2018 there was legislation that went through to help small craft distilleries in Ohio.
Okay.
And before that, it was a lot harder to kind of get that stuff going. You had to really kind of play that system, you know. But it's easier now. It could be a lot easier.
This is still so ridiculous to me. I mean, I knew selling booze, beer, and I knew selling liquor was like more of a pain than selling beer.
Sure.
But the way you've described it, it makes no rational sense.
Well, I think Pennsylvania is 10 times worse.
And
I'm sure there are worse states.
They recently passed some legislation that they're getting better. I'm not sure where
Oh,
they're standing
about
right
time.
now, but
The separate like liquor stores and then beer stores.
Like the process, it doesn't even make rational sense.
yeah.
It's probably just some historic way it's been
And
done.
at one point in history, it probably did make sense. That's why they
Right,
did it.
yeah.
But it doesn't anymore. And why not change it all?
That was like Westerville was dry for up
Really?
until the 2000s, right?
It was, I mean, that was where
Yeah, like,
the temperance movement started. Like, that started Prohibition was Westerville, Ohio.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Okay, it makes a lot of sense that they're drawing it.
Pretty sure. It was at least one of the main places. I mean, definitely Google search that. And
Really?
yeah. Yeah. It's pretty nuts.
Wow. Joke's on them. Drinking now.
I know, right?
It's cool to learn about the intricacies of the legislative side of all of this, and you know, it's about as dumb as I thought it would be hearing you talk about it. You know,
Yeah, it's really boring.
it's cool that you're up and running though,
Yeah, absolutely.
and now that you're through like all the hoops of like setting that up, like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to be up and running, but like, and especially like a lot of things, the first time you're going through,
Yeah.
there's all these like, so I've got to go to this website and do this thing and then this and then submit a paper. It just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like going to the BMV, where like, did you fill out form 27-4? And like, what is that? And you don't, and they do it every day, so they just assume. There's a couple of really good people, I will say, that kind of do help
Yeah.
you. Like our guy Nate over there is just awesome and always just super helpful and knowledgeable and points you in
Yeah.
the right direction. But there's
So you can only sell your liquor, correct?
from a bottle.
Okay,
We have an account with a liquor store, a wholesale account, so we can go buy a bottle of JMO or
Okay.
Hennessy and use them in our cocktails, sell them to you over the bar, but I cannot sell you a bottle of Jameson.
Okay.
Or Hennessy or something like that.
Okay, that makes slightly more sense. The whole process doesn't really make sense to me.
But again, if I'm selling you a cocktail made with our vodka, I have sold that case of vodka to the state of Ohio, and then my bar has bought that
so
from the
stupid.
state of Ohio, and then we're making drinks for you, and then at the end of the month paying the state of Ohio.
At
for
least
that
it
case.
doesn't have to leave the premise anymore to come back to.
Wait,
the
did it have to do that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. So it used to be like Scott would have to sell it to the state of Ohio. It would have to leave.
Like, would you just like take
Yeah.
it
The
premise.
outside?
Not
No.
us. This was
They would
not-
come
Not us, but
Okay.
like hypothetically, like back in the day,
Okay,
before they
okay.
changed the laws. So it would have to go to their like holding,
Yeah.
Oh, like
and then they would
go.
physically sell it back to you.
So if you
Oh my
remember, so
God.
I think there were only two distilleries, Watershed and Middle West, right? Pre this new legislation that came out, and you couldn't even have a bar or a tap room or a restaurant attached to a distillery prior to that. That's why neither Watershed or Ohio
Yeah.
pre 2018 or so had a bar or a restaurant. And then once that legislation passed, of course, they opened them up. So that was part of the big deal. And then if you guys remember, I don't know, way back in the day, like I remember when I was in college out in Colorado, but I'd come back, the only places you could buy liquor in Ohio were like a weird strip mall state of Ohio
like
liquor
a
store that
liquor
was
store.
unattached
Right.
to anything else.
Right.
Right. And at some point they changed up those laws too, and then provided those licenses to individual
Yeah.
retailers, like grocery stores could have a state-owned liquor store within them. And I think they changed around because it used to be like hearing stories of back in those times, every liquor would have to go up to like Toledo, Ohio. So if you were a distillery then in Columbus, Ohio, you'd have to make your stuff, ship it to Toledo, then it would be shipped down to another warehouse somewhere down in like Grove City, and then goes out to all these different
So
cities.
it's just a control aspect?
Yeah, because the state of Ohio owns everything.
Yeah.
Owns every bottle of liquor that's sold.
That's ridiculous.
That's why like everything's allocated.
This is why
And
people
there's
bootleg.
There's a
You know,
lot
this is
of
why-
money.
That's why people just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like when I sell you a bottle of vodka, after our costs and expenses, the state of Ohio makes about as much money as we do from it.
Wait, what?
Really?
So they're cleaning up on it
Oh
too.
yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
So who's lobbying against you guys here? Like, I'm assuming these laws and regulations are in place because there have been groups lobbying for them. Does the
Well-
Ohio liquor lobby have like a?
I mean, it's the money.
Yeah.
But like,
It's
so
a huge portion of the
I get that
revenue, so there's-
the Ohio Liquor Control Organization, whatever that is making bank off of this. But has there been a lobby against that in this state?
Not to my knowledge, there's been.
I mean, it sounds like a cartel.
There's been new lobbies about changing.
It kind of is.
Regulations. So low hanging fruit. Let's try to win some. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
like opening
okay,
up so
okay.
distilleries can have a tap room and have a
they-
restaurant.
They
That's
let
a
you
win.
sell to-go drinks.
They'll let us sell to go drinks. That's a win. So take your wins. We'll see where that
Yeah.
goes eventually. But I mean, if you talk about taxation in an industry,
Wow.
and it's not,
realize
but
it
it's
was
not a
that bad.
tax
Yeah.
because they own it all. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
revenue, but it's not a tax. So it's not officially a tax, but it is.
Wow. Interesting. Did you know all of this before you started distilling?
Yeah, I mean, we learned it through the process
Okay.
of everything. I didn't just know it until
How
I started
pissed
looking
were you
into
when
it.
you found out, like, this is how the system works?
Yeah,
Wait,
and
I have to sell this
And it's,
my
and
vodka
it's
to the
just
state
liquor.
first?
It's not beer.
It's not beer.
See,
Yeah,
and
just
that's
And
what
then they
makes
take
even
the
no
profit.
sense to me.
Yeah.
anything over 23% in Ohio
Okay.
is owned by the state of Ohio.
Crazy.
And every state, not every state is different, but every state has their own rules, and there are kind of buckets of states and some outliers.
So just to recap this, you go back there, you have a license, you distill a bottle of bourbon. You sell that to Ohio, you buy it back from them.
We can do two things. My bar can wholesale buy it back from the state
Okay.
of Ohio, or I can sell it to another bar at a wholesale
Okay,
price.
okay.
Or a consumer can purchase that at a retail price.
Okay, okay.
And then we have to give all of that money from those sales to the state of Ohio. But we've already been paid for that bottle.
I see. Okay.
You see,
okay.
so it's
I'm
kinda-
trying to
So-
figure out where they're getting paid.
But if my
in this-
bar
in this
buys it from the
Ponzi
state at
scheme.
wholesale, then I can break that up. There's 15 different pours in that bottle.
Okay.
Or,
It
whatever
It
that
seems
is.
like they get paid twice.
Wait,
Yeah.
so you can only
Kinda.
the only profits that you're going to earn off of your liquor is a wholesale pricing?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
And it's not bar wholesale pricing.
I mean, yeah.
It's the wholesale price.
I mean, you have to have a bar then to earn money off of pours.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, like if
Yeah.
you're just that's insane.
Oh, you have to have a bar to pour.
Right, right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
Crazy.
And so for us, like, we're actually not, from a bar point of view, not incentivized to use our own
Yeah.
liquor
You're
because
not.
Yeah.
it's whether we buy our liquor or another bottle of liquor. From a monetary point of view, from the bar side, granted, it's our brand, it's what we're passionate about.
Yeah.
This is us, so that's huge. But there's not like we're making extra money selling you a vodka pour from ours versus something like Tito's,
Yeah.
you know.
That is nuts. I didn't know any of this.
But we'd already been paid for that from the state, right? So that bottle we're making money on.
Who decides the pricing? The state obviously does.
So the split
Of course.
is decided by the state. And that's part of that. There's like a several month process to get a product approved. And basically it's like a online application. You type in the price that you want, and they give you, well, this is what your wholesale price, this is what the retail price, this is what the...
So they tell you what
it is, and you can play with it. So you can kind of, well, I want that to be $25. I want that to be $30. Let's see what those numbers do, and you can play around, and then you suggest it to them, and they're, as long as it's reasonable, they will approve.
Okay.
If you try to say, oh, this is a $2 bottle of vodka, they're going to make no.
Okay.
And if it's a $2,000 bottle of vodka, they're probably going to say, justify that, and can you sell it?
Yeah.
And if you can, then sure.
Yeah, it's like that's great for them.
Of course, right? So, sure.
So what can they decide? Like, oh, we actually don't need your product. We've got enough vodka.
Yeah, can they? That's a good point.
So, and that's part of like the small distillery designation. So if we're just making, so we're going to have some products that we're only ever going to sell here, and no, they can't really do that because they're not interested. They're still making some money on it and whatever.
Yeah.
But when we start, so pretty soon we're going to start getting our product out into other liquor stores. And that's when it gets interesting, because depending on your numbers and what they can order and not, you've got to perform at a certain level to stay on the shelves.
Yeah.
So it's very programized in terms of where you can go and how you can roll that out and all that as well.
It's an insane amount of, government control on it. I never realized that.
Yeah, for liquor, not for beer.
Right. And that's what's crazy. It's still alcohol.
And that's why you don't have a lot of people doing both.
Yeah.
Because if you're familiar with beer, it's a nightmare, in terms of the legality and the logistics of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, good for you guys. You guys are past the. You at least have the license now, and you're making it.
Yeah, we're making it, putting it out there, and good stuff coming. So wow, it's already 6:30, guys.
Goes fast.
Yeah.
These goes fast. These go
fast.
really fast when you're just like BSing around.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're probably gonna sign off here. Say goodnight to everyone. You guys have any final comments, closure?
No, I appreciate you having us.
Yeah, thanks for
on.
having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
drinks.
I'll have to bring one of these back for my wife if she's watching.
Definitely. Your wife also texted me during this, and she wants it too.
Oh, well, there you go. I know she sent me a picture of the kids watching the iPad of us, and says they think they're on FaceTime.
I really hope your kids learned a lot about the state control of the liquor issue
and how much work Daddy has to do.
Riveting, and hopefully they weren't listening for those F-bombs we dropped.
Hey, we after the first 5 minutes, we were in the clear.
Total other direction.
I feel like we have extra to spare, so
that's great.
That's true.
Thanks so much, Kevin, Andy. Really appreciate you guys being on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Schill Brothers Outdoors. They've got an awesome and backcountry BSing, awesome following, awesome people. We're going to be out in the mountains in Colorado this summer. Get out on some trails together.
Yep.
Maybe even a trail ale this fall. We've got a lot of good stuff coming up with you guys.
Let's do
it. We'll have some more stuff up for everyone to listen to. But other than that, we'll see you next Friday. We have our brewmaster, Cameron Lloyd, coming on, talking about all. So if you like the nerd conversation of whatever, Cameron is the epitome of a beer nerd. He's got his master's in brewing from Germany, and he is all about the beer. And we're just going to pick his brain and have him talk about his philosophy on beer for an hour and a half. And it's going to be awesome. So coming out and join us.
Oh, nice.
He's got the
he's got it.
Yeah. How do you remember it's the red button?
It's just the top left.
It's top left.
It's always the
first
red button. It's always the red button, Andy. It's always the red button. All right. Thanks again. This is Endeavor BS live at 5. BS stands for Brewing and Spirits and absolutely nothing else. See you guys next week.